Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the late one with yours truly, SYLBOURNE SYDIAL. It's it's a beautiful day. It is the 12th of January, 2021. Did I say 2021? Many people are thinking that we're still in 2020. Many people think we're still in 2020. Many people are saying, what's going on with 2020? But I say to you, it's not 2020 anymore. It is 2021. And because of that, I said I'm going to make a conscious decision to really have a smashing show. And in order to have a smashing show, I've got to get smashing people. Yep. In order to get a smashing show, you got to have smashing people. And I'm getting Coach Chris Browne tonight. But I want to tell you the reasons why I said I'm going to get Coach Chris Browne. The last lockdown, which we have, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, we went on a challenge. And the challenge was, what are some of the coping mechanisms that people can use during the initial lockdown in March the 24th? And what are some of the things that people can use to cope? What are some of the things that people can actually try to do? New things. So we had this motivational spree. And as a result of that, I said, Coach, let's do it again. Let's do something every Tuesday, because a lot of people, I must say, and Coach and I will talk about this later, have been somewhat waiting for some breakthrough. Many people believe that 2021, and they do believe that 2021 is an exciting year and things are going to happen. But at the start of the year, they saw the lockdown. At the start of the year, those in the States saw the things happening with Trump. So people are feeling a bit dejected now to a certain extent. But I say to you today that life goes on, and what we are here to do, the platform which I have, I said, I'm going to use it for good and somehow get the ball rolling. So like and subscribe to this channel and share it as well. YouTube is where it's going to be on mostly. At the same time, new things are happening. But ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further, I think the best thing I should do is just to shut up and just bring in Coach Chris Browne in the place to be.
Hey, SYLBOURNE. How are we doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Great.
I said, let me just shut up and get to you. And Coach, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. You know, I'm feeling so good. You know what? I could burst right now. So I got a lot to come out with today. You know, how are you doing?
You look a bit sweaty. I think we need to.
Well, let's do a thing now. Come on, let's do it. Hey, here we go. Woo. We got a board going on here.
Let's wipe for it. You know,
there we go.
There's a minister of government in Jamaica named Edmund Bartlett. Once he came over to the UK, right. And we took a picture with us in glasses, and then we took a picture of us without glasses because we're baldhead and everything like that. You know, so so that's a beautiful advantage of, you know. But Chris, anyway, you know, as we spoke about, and we had the first time that we discussed the whole lockdown as a way of, while we're in lockdown, let's not be in lockdown mode, whereby that sort of thing over. You know, so tell us now, just go for it and your thoughts, because we had the initial bit, but now we are moving forward again in another lockdown. You know, share your thoughts regarding where we are, Chris.
Well, I'll
and
give
your
my thoughts on this.
As to how things are now.
Gladly, SYLBOURNE. The situation is, obviously we're in a lockdown again. First lockdown, we just didn't know what we were going to do, what's happening. There was a lot more panic going on as we went through it last time in the show. And to be honest, this time round, when we first started lockdown, I really was a bit perplexed by it, because I remember going to my wife for a drive and everything was going to go somewhere. And lo and behold, reached to an area and I thought, oh, lockdown's over, because everybody was out. Everybody took it so casual this time round. Until now, the serious bit about it. You know, there's a lot of, let's say, there's a lot of implications about breaking the rules right now, you know, because breaking the rules is not about just breaking the rules. It's about people's lives. It's about individuals. You know, there's a lot going on. And I've actually experienced myself where, you know, people we dearly love, you know, in a not such a good situation right now, you know, and through getting phone calls as well and clients I've spoken to, you know, the sort of heaviness that's going on right now. But what I really realize about this is, let's just go back to the whole thing of lockdown. I believe that people have really found out that
Chris, I want to stop you there.
Sure.
I want to stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't know if people knew that we were actually disconnected a while ago. I couldn't hear anything you're saying. Let me just check with.
Oh, right.
Just bear with me for a second.
Sure.
Dean, could you hear me? I'm just checking persons out there online. Michelle Clark, were you able to hear? Peace and blessings, Silburn. Latoya Bentley, can you let me know if you are there and if you can hear? I know on Instagram you can hear as well. Can I get before I don't want to lose any words by Chris, because I'm looking also on my system here and it looks like it is frozen as well. Are you seeing anyone? You're not connected to the internet. But Chris, you're there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me see something.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah, let me just check something. I'm trying to see if I can get a feedback
No problem.
from persons as well. I mean, maybe you can do a rap in the meantime, you know, do a little rap.
Let's do a rap. And it goes a bit like that.
And it goes a little. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Latoya Bentley, you can hear and you can see. Latoya, just confirm to me that you can hear and you can see as well. Well, she said that she can hear.
Right.
But of course, if she can hear, that means to say that she has no problem with seeing. Yeah.
Just let me know when you lost me.
I heard everything your guest said. Okay, good. Michelle Clark. Okay, so you can. Okay, fantastic. So guys, guess what? It is good that you guys all heard. Whether I hear or not is not irrelevant. You guys heard. Chris, let's start all over again. Point where I said, hi, Coach. Good to see you again, Chris. I guess, Coach. Everybody's been hearing you. I'm just being the one that wasn't being heard, man. Carry on, man.
You're the only one who didn't hear me. So I'm going to give you a little repeat on that.
Yeah, please.
I know you at the same time. Now, what I was explaining, and I'll explain it again to everybody, thank you very much, is that with the last lockdown, there was pandemonium. There was people running around like ants, you know, the shops, the fighting, everything that was going on, and the fear and the anxiety was taking it. Now, we're in the second move. We're in 2021. And, you know, here we go again. But obviously, we've hit another level, and it's quite serious. At first, when we said it was going to have another lockdown, as I said, I remember I was going for a drive with wife. We went somewhere, and it seemed like this area we went to as if there was a festival going on. People just walking around casually as if there was nothing. But then now we've gone, what, a few tiers up?
Yes.
It's come to the point where somebody phoned me and said there was going to be a tier 5, you know, at the time. And I remember this pretty, and we actually had this conversation as well. Do you remember? Said one on the phone. But the thing about it was, it is quite serious. Yeah. There was this thing about breaking rules before, but you break those rules, you're talking about other people's lives at the same time. And unfortunately, I've actually experienced them, people I know who are actually in this condition now. Clients who've actually phoned me up about the whole anxiety of this as well. And it's not a joke. It's not a joke, but there's an atmosphere. Yeah. There's an atmosphere, kind of downward atmosphere was going on, which is natural. But, you know, even through this, we can actually look to the things that we can actually, let's say, inspire yourself, motivate yourself to actually do something with this, because you've got two choices. You can either go down with this, one by playing unsafe as well, or you can use this to propel yourself in a new direction and be creative. Start thinking outside of the box.
Yes.
Now, when I say thinking outside the box, I'm talking about, well, look, one of the subjects that came up to me was the whole thing of, we were going to talk about it next week, about doing work, getting work in a time like this. There are people who are set up for interviews. Things are not happening. They're sitting at home. Now we got a total lockdown where you're going to be fine if you're out on the street with not a real purpose or anything like that. So where do we go from there? We got to start to look for another angle. We got to start finding things inside of us that we can make things happen instead.
Yes. Because
it's not until your back's against the wall do you really find out what your true potential is.
Wow.
Because before that, you were probably doing the walk at somebody else's walk. You didn't find out your true self. You were doing somebody else's walk. You've seen somebody do something, you're doing that too, and you're following a career because that one done it too, or something you've seen. But this time, your back's against the wall. You can't do anything like that. So you got to look within and find out, what have you got that can make things happen?
Can I
What
me
have you
teacher,
got?
me teacher, can I put my hands up? You're like me teacher.
Go ahead.
It's interesting what he said. When your back is against the wall,
Mhm.
you have no choice but to push back,
Right.
isn't it? Now,
That's correct.
so what you're saying then is this: this is an opportunity, which is also presenting itself amidst the pandemic, amidst the chaos, amidst the confusion. But there is an opportunity which is presenting itself to people. Do people can see that? Is that easily to be seen, Coach?
Well, first of all, gold star. You're correct. That is it.
Mm. Yeah.
Secondly, it is with all I put out on Instagram post today about all the noise that is around us. And when I say noise, I'm talking about physical noise in your ears. I'm talking about the things that are going on around which distract you. They distract you, and it also brings you down.
Yes.
So in all this distraction, it's kind of hard to stay focused on that goal. It's a case of thinking like, well, will this even happen anyway? Will I be able to do that? No, it's not easy. But you know what? Together, we can actually find out how. And I'll show you how to actually find those things inside of you to actually get you to move ahead. In finding that essence, that purpose gives you that extra confidence to work against the odds and find the way. The word is find a way.
So it's just like finding that Nemo, if anything, finding that Nemo in a very sense of saying, you know, I find what you're saying is very powerful. You know, I think someone said Virgin is down or something like that. I don't know. There's been some chaos going around with Wi-Fi.
Oh,
yeah, but you know, Chris, the last time when we had the lockdown, and if we just go back, and when we had the moment here when we came on, it was Dr. David Burton and there was Donovan Smart, and we said, let's just go for it. We're in lockdown mode. There's nowhere we can go, but what can we do? And one of the things we said we can do is let's see if we can do something that we have never done before. Because David Burton said, when you do something in 21 days, it becomes a habit. You can pull me up on that bit after to see my experience. And also, what are some of the coping mechanisms at that time? So it took us on a journey at that point where we had no choice but to try to sort out our mental health. Because we also have our mental health state. Even though it might look as if, okay, we all have this mental health factor.
Yeah.
You know?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So how? Yeah, go on, Chris. Yeah, sorry, sir.
Well, go ahead.
No, I'm finished that bit there. That point, I was setting the stage there because we'll talk later about my experience since that time with the walk-in and how we take it from there to now and how people can actually benefit through this whole process of lockdown, not being in lockdown mode while you're in lockdown.
Well, funny, I was going to actually add to that because I was going to say exactly what you were saying, because out of that discussion that we had last time, there was a newness that was born. I mean, yourself, we did this challenge, right? And yours one was a health one to do a walk every day, right? Now, the thing about it is you've been doing that walk, and we're talking about a year now, coming up a year, right? That you've been doing this walk, right? Nearly a year. And you've been doing this every day. And that's been proof of what we talked about. A habit takes 3 weeks to make, and a habit takes 3 weeks to break. Now, you got a choice. Which habit? A good habit or a bad habit? You know, we can rewire our brain into the good habits. So once you start doing this thing for about 3 weeks, after that, you're on it. Now, SYLBOURNE, you have done that in that sense. Now, when I look online, I see you just walking. Now you've got other people walking as well. You know, this reminds me of that Forrest Gump thing was talking about, where you got this vision with you in front and all these people walking behind, just going along, you know, but, you know, we're talking about virtually, but it's really good. And that was a good habit. My habit we talked about was cutting down on the sugar at the time. I remember that. I kept it up all the way. I'll tell you something. My birthday's at Christmas. And, you know, the lovely cakes is like, oh, no, I can't break this, you know. But I got back on it, you know. So I'm not really onto the sugar all the time as well. Now, these are good habits. We found a way. Now, in saying that, you can repeat that again.
Yes,
But
yes.
different kind of habit that will take you through this, a different habit that will add value to you. You know, we're in a situation where people don't know what to do. And then you got to think about your skills, your skill set. How can you add value to yourself? What could you learn in this period? Because now we've got no excuse that, oh, I didn't know how to do that. Oh, I didn't learn that way back then, this, that, and that. We got no excuse.
Yes.
We've got the internet. We've got information technology all around us. So what could we learn? What could you learn that you didn't learn before? You've got all the time.
And you know what you said is really powerful, because I was with Senator Norman Washington Grant from the Jamaica, and I remember I was with the new opposition leader, and I said, man, how do you do these technical stuff? I said, listen, I had no choice. I had no choice. I never had a studio anymore where I could go in and everything is being done. All I had to do in the studio was just sit down and look pretty and just talk. And those guys do everything for me, edited for me. But now I've got all these system now where I'm learning all those things, how to edit and all those bits. I had no choice, Chris. And this is a situation whereby, because I had no choice, I had to learn, I had to innovate, I had to evolve in a way to do new things. I've got ideas which I have for this year as well. And some of the things that I say when I'm out there walking all the while is keep the mind fresh. You see, the walking, I smile when you talk about the walking there, because it's like my great pet passion now, whereby I'm challenging you to do the morning walk with me, where I'm going to do lives. My first live was last week with somebody else walking in Jamaica. So he's walking in Jamaica and I'm walking, and that is going to happen, because I believe that there's a way that we can actually inspire persons, to learn. Because when you see the birds, when you see the squirrel in the morning, and when you hear those birds singing, when they say, it's SYLBOURNE, and they start to sing, and they say, oh my days, it's SYLBOURNE, and they're singing for me, man. The parakeets and everybody. I choose it, man. That's me, Chris. They're there for me. So you get that buzz, that inspire, and I say to people, just walk, do something, do some exercise, because at the end of the day, we've got to make sure, and I say this all the while, this is my code word, while in lockdown, do not be in lockdown mode. Chris, go for it.
That's right. So just staying with that in a way, you just tell me and tell you, what was the benefits of doing that instead of just walking? What was the benefits?
I tell you what was the benefit. And this is really powerful, and this is a testimony as well. During the course of the walking, at one point I started to feel some itching on my body, and nurse friend said, where are you itching? I said, no, it's not like itching anywhere, just itching. And so I went to check the doctor out, and the doctor said to me, let me do some blood tests and everything, and do some blood pressure. One, blood pressure was high. Two, he found out that I was pre-diabetic, and some of the things that they said I needed to do, I needed to start to walk, do some exercise, and this is what he said: do the walking first. This is what he said. Do the walking first, because sometimes you might rush ahead and blah blah blah. Do the walking. And I said, I'm walking. So in a way, by doing that, it opened up something whereby I've lost a stone. I lost a stone during the course of the time. No wonder you said to me one time, I was looking at you. So you said to me, I was looking at you and your face looked a bit different. You're not that round. And I said, Chris, I actually lost weight. You remember?
I do remember that. I do remember that. And I wondered if you took that as a compliment or what.
So for me personally, it gave me this buzz. I mean, I'm a person whereby I go to court in the mornings and I sit down, and that's the nature of my work. Sit down, press gas, go to court, go into courtroom, go back home, sit down, press gas. But now I get up and walk. And even if I don't get up to walk sometime, because I need time in the mornings, if I can't get to go to a hearing, I still walk in the night. And if I don't walk that day, ladies and gentlemen, listen, sometime I miss that walk, you just go back and you do the next walk. But there's a buzz, because you have now reached to a point whereby you have gained something new, which will actually save your life in the future as well. So therefore, so that is the thing which has benefit. It has created a health conscious whereby I'm now talking to people, walk, man, come on, man, let's do some walk. I feel like a guru now, Chris. And so therefore, and remember again, my coping mechanism at that time was having cake, was eating cakes. I was having cakes every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I was picking up cake. And that, all of that has all I drink now is water.
Now, the real thing about it is, I went back to that and say, well, what are the benefits, as you explained? is sometimes, you know, it's worth to have that exchange with someone,
Yes.
to have that exchange, because out of that exchange we had, this is what was birthed out of it.
Yes.
Now, this actually saved your life when you look at it, you
Yeah.
know, and you think about it, what your doctor said. This actually saved your life. Did we know that was going on at the time? No, we didn't.
Yes.
But this is the same thing now. Let's say to all viewers right now, and I see quite a few highs in there. Hi, everyone. Hi,
Somebody said they want to do the walk with me. Somebody, Latoya Bentley.
Oh, great. That's even better. That's even better. Right. So listen, we got to think of new ways of doing things. We got to think of something we got to learn. We got to think of what would be a benefit, not only for yourself, for those around you. You know, you got to live out this life at the end of the day, and you got to live it to the fullest.
Yes.
There are a lot of things going on. I'm not taking our eyes off the ball of what's going on around us. But what I am saying is you could either keep your eyes on what's going on around and get lost in it, or you got the choice of balancing what's going on and what you got to do about the situation and your life. Now, there's a lot of problems going on right now with, let's say, I shouldn't say problems, let's say mental health at this time is very high. It's risen very high through lockdown. Now, when we lose our purpose or we have it taken away from us the way it feels right now, obviously the mind starts playing games now. Yeah. And you think, what am I going to do? You feel trapped. What am I going to do? This, I can't do this. I can't do that. I had this idea, this idea. Listen, it's time to stop. Stop, stop, stop. Do not let your mind race ahead of you. Yeah. As I always say, be in the moment. Be in the moment like now, this very moment that we're here now. Yeah. And think about this. Take time out after and think, well, get a piece of paper and write down, what are your skills and what would you like to learn? Now, I know yourself, SYLBOURNE, and like myself, we like reading, right? Now, you could do a challenge like that. A challenge could be, I want to read a book. Yes. Right. And we spoke about it before, didn't we? Yes. Yeah. It could be, I want to read a book. I want to learn something new. I want to get my health in order. I want to get my finances in order. I want to read something about finances to get in order. I want to come out on the other end different to how I went in. Yes. You got to have a purpose. You got to have a goal. If you've got a goal which is ahead of you, you haven't got time to let the anxiety and the things play in your head and bring you down. It might be recognizing one of the areas that you need to improve in your character. Yeah. Oh, I'm very impatient, so now I need to grow my patience. Yes. You know, it could be something simple like that. Sometimes it's something simple that grows into something bigger. Hey, one little walk. Look at this. You know, you've got somebody all the way in Jamaica walking with you as well now. You've got other people who want to join them walk. You see, something really simple in your character that you can build on in this time. Now, one thing I'd say is, you know, we need about, let's say, 7 to 8 hours sleep. Yes. What about, and if you have those 7 to 8 hours sleep, you're more productive the next day. So you might say, but how can I sleep with all this going on? Hey, maybe you need to wear yourself out before. Have a little run, a little walk before, soaking them up before. Do things that are going to make you productive and get that mind relaxed in this time that we're in. This is the main thing we need to guard. This is the main thing we need to look after. This is where your wealth is in everything. And when I'm talking about wealth, I'm not only talking about wealth like that. I'm talking about wealth as a person. Your health is your wealth. Your mind is what it is at the end of the day. Now, I could go further than that. For me, as I always say, you know, I get up first thing in the morning. I give it up to God first, right? Then after, I do the training. Now, you're sharper than me. You're sharper than me, Sybil. You know what? I hit the treadmill, right? I hit the treadmill instead, right? After, right? You're walking out in the cold. I think next time when you're out there, we'll do a, you know, face-to-face and I'll show you a treadmill, right? But little things like that. And why do I do that? Because I know it keeps the mental side well and the inner, the spiritual side well as well. So that's my one. I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but what I'm saying is these little things will make a difference into your productivity the next day. So you've got to have a goal and a purpose. So imagine this, you get your 7 to 8 hours sleep. Now, no, let's take it the other way. Let's take it the other way. What's really going on now? You don't get your 7 hours sleep. Let me tell you about what comes out of that. One, irritability. right? You get very irritated about simple things, impatience, your health, your immune system is lower as well, right? You might find yourself a bit more ratty as well,
Yes.
right? Or you can't think the way you should think to plan things out or do the work you want to do. Why? Because you didn't have that 7 to 8 hours sleep. Yeah. Should I tell you how I know that? I've actually experienced it as well, right? So the thing that I have, right, the thing about it is when you do have that, you're like Superman, Superwoman, whatever comes, just bounce off. Give me the kryptonite. Give me the kryptonite. I had 7 hours sleep, you know? So that makes a big difference, right? That makes a big difference into your thinking and your productivity. Set your goals for the next day. Always have a goal a day ahead so that it could be small goals. It doesn't have to be big, massive things. You do it bit by bit daily. And then after you can work on the bigger ones.
Yeah.
With me?
What are some of the questions that you like to ask anybody here now to share? Is it what are the new things that they want to do?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was going to go there. Yeah. So what I'd like to put on the side there is exactly that. If you feel inspired right now and you know you need that change, you need to challenge yourself and step outside the box and do something different. What is it that you're going to do? And let me add some to that as well. Yeah. No, you tell me, what is it that you're going to do? What new thing? What new challenge? What new habit I'm going to take?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking. Hey, let's go. Let's go. You can kick it off and then we see everybody else.
Well, but listen,
go on.
Listen, I'm a trendsetter in a sense, and I like challenges. Anybody that knows me and my conversation, I shoot straight from the hip. And in conversation, listen, the walking thing didn't just start like that. I didn't consciously think about it. It is when you guys, when David said to me, so SYLBOURNE, what are you gonna do? And I said, oh, sugar, I didn't think about that. After we said people to do it, I said, okay, I'm not been walking that much or exercising. Okay, I'll walk. It was casually. And the start of this year, I was with some couple of persons, and I said, I tell you what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write 2 books this year. First and a half of this month, said, I've got books I've been talking about for the past 5 years. I'm going to write 2 books. One up to the first 6 months, and the other now. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my challenge to myself. Coach Chris Browne will ensure that it happens. Now, sometimes, as I said with the walk, not every day I walked, but I got up the next day and I made sure I walked. And Chris, you said something earlier that when you get up and you are in the focus and you're in the mode, when you're ready for the day, you're ready to kick. You know, I was gonna say, yeah. You're ready to kick because you're in a buzz. When you get up there, you walk on the street and you pray and you do some motivational talk. And what it does for me, Chris, and I say this, I share a thought at the end. It inspires me when I do my lives in the morning, because it is when I walk, I get words of inspiration. Sometimes I do not know the topic, Chris, or ladies and gentlemen, but it is as I start to walk, something drop in my spirit. And then I said, that's where I need to go now. That's where this comes. This is going to be the topic, right? So the point I'm trying to say is that until you go into stepping into something new, I think I need to create a rap there. You'll never know until you go. And then you go with the flow. And I always say don't go with the flow, but there are times you've got to go with the flow. That sounds like a rap, Chris. Yeah, I'm going to make a rap out of that.
It sounds like you got a rap going on there. I think sometimes the current is a bit stronger, and there's sometimes you do have to go with that flow, right? Yeah. Because there are times, but obviously not with the masses all the time, because it would be you, right? But what you just said, you said that it dropped into your spirit, right? That is exactly what happens. You know, that is exactly what happens when you become in tune.
Yes,
with what's around. It's as if God just delivers it to you. You got the body right, you got the mind right, and you're ready. That's what happens. You're ready, you know? So your challenge will be, say it again?
Write 2 books for the year.
2 books for the year. Everybody get that? 2 books for the year. And you know what's really good about it is you say it openly, accountable. And we saw it happen before. Let's see what somebody else is saying. Let's see that slide, see what everybody else is saying. Anybody else got one on there?
Well, Chris, the funny thing when you said that, because when I was doing the walk at the time, you remember I spoke to you one time, I said, Chris, I don't do I have to let people know that I'm walking? You know, they're going to think, am I walking or not walking? Well, Latoya Bentley said, get fit. So she says, get fit.
Get fit.
Yes.
Get fit.
Yes.
Yep.
That's one.
It's the most.
Moral Harris said, a healthy living do not stop in from getting a healthy body help you to fight off any disease. So there you go. Healthy body.
Brilliant.
Good word.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Lorna Foster said, doing a lot of baking, got to be careful the lockdown doesn't add weight. So she know exactly what she needs to do. While you bake, make sure you're careful. You know?
Go ahead, Lorna. Go ahead. Hopefully it'll stop you from getting it. Yeah, we're in that one.
That's a lot, but it definitely pull you to get a book done. I know a young lady. She wrote 3 books in the space of 3 months, because you know what she said? She was in the States. She came on my show. Her name is Simone Snow. I call her. She said because people are dying in New York, she felt that she may not live too long because she was working in the health sector. So she felt an impulse to write books quickly,
right?
Because she felt she may not live long based on how COVID was going on. So everybody,
that's an inspiration.
Yeah. So everybody has their why, as to why they propel themselves and push themselves into the things of God and the purpose. Yes. J.L. Samuel says, "I'm skipping every morning."
Good stuff. Good stuff.
J.L.,
you know, pretty good for the heart.
Are you skipping meals, skipping food, skipping?
But on a serious note, the skipping what he's doing is really good. It's really good for the heart, cardiovascular, to keep doing that all the time, and the more you build it up as well, it's really good for the blood flow. Good one. Okay. I hope it's not skipping you. Right. So this is looking really good. Now, what I'll say to everybody on there, will you write that down and make a commitment to a new one? Make a commitment. Making yourself accountable before everybody right now. It's on there. And I believe you're going to put this online as well. It's recorded. It's on there. Making yourself accountable.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is that people will be able to watch this show. And it's the reason why we're trying to make it tight. We're trying to make it tight so people can watch this show and use it as a tool that they can listen to this and they can say, so at the end of it, for it to land, is to say, what is your challenge? What are the things that you're going to do? As you set out, Chris, and to write it down, it down as well. Yeah,
that makes a difference, because I do in the office at home. If there's something I need to get done, I actually write it down on a whiteboard or I pin it up there instead. So I have to see it every time. That is what I'm accountable. The thing about it is once you started doing it, once you break into the 3rd week, it becomes a habit. It gives you the confidence. It gives you that confidence in knowing you can achieve this. And guess what? You start to achieve other things after that, because it becomes like, well, if I could do that, I could do this too. If I could do that, I could do this. And it has a knock-on effect. So it's a really good thing to get into as a habit,
one of the things that I was thinking about as well, when we had the first lockdown, lots of people were talking about things that they want to do. People started to embark on some new ideas, some new skill set. And then we stepped out of the lockdown and things were going back to a semblance of normality. And then I believe that many people also weren't able to follow through with some of the commitments and the challenges that they wanted. So when the second lockdown came, when I was walking, I was saying, here is another opportunity for those who may have missed out and not completed it. And now we got this 3rd lockdown. You got a 3rd bite of a cherry. Now, the key and the key thing about this, Chris, is that time that you have and I have is the same time, 24 hours of the day, right? So people have to realize now that, hey, you are somehow have this level of time capacity. And what you got to realize now, that is something which is very expensive, because many people always say, I do not have time. Isn't that the favorite thing, Chris? I do not have time.
It is.
But now you've got time. So therefore, what would you say, Chris, for persons now who find themselves with time in their lap?
Right. What I'll say is, look, you've got to start realizing now. I'll reverse that. We say we've got time. We don't even know if we're here tomorrow morning. So you've got to value each minute, each hour from the second that you get up. Use your life up. Use it up. You know, make sure you've drained and you've done everything that you could do, instead of saying, well, you know, that was a time, you know, because the thing about it is this: we do all have 24 hours in a day. We
Yeah.
do. But the difference is, it's how you manage that time. It's
Yeah.
what you do with that time. It's how much you get out of that. And sometimes people can get busy being busy, but it's the result that makes the difference. So there are other ways of playing this as well. You can actually get a lot done with less action as well, which seems really strange to say that. But why I'm saying that is the gaps in between is where you regenerate and you actually start to be productive. When you actually work out, I'm doing this to get this result, I'm doing that to get this result. And that's when you're being productive. So you could work out your 24 hours and you probably do more in the first 3 or 4 hours than you would normally with everything running on around you as it did before on the, what do you call it? You know, when a rat goes round and round and round, on the treadmill of the rat, right? So you could do more being productive, using your time and mapping out the things you got to do. You know, I use my phone on this. What I do is I use my phone, and on the where the notes, where it's got the reminder and tick them off, I do the to-dos on there. I only do about 3 or 4. That's it. But I've mapped it out that at least within half hour, I had to have done this, or I had to learn that. Before you know it, you probably got up to about 3 o'clock or so, 4 o'clock, and you've got most of it done. Or you can do it shorter than that time. Or you can add more to it because you know you have the capability. That's being productive instead. You know, wasn't always like that before. Trust me, wasn't always like that before. But once I learned that method, I realized, look, this really works. And then the other thing is what I do with the time, I actually use time as well. I put a timer in there so that I won't just work on one particular area throughout the whole day. And before you know it, it's 6 o'clock or so, and you're still trying to get that thing right. I've got to get that done within the hour or the 2 hours before that alarm rings. And then I know where I am and where I've got to start on the next thing. So it's how you use the time. It's not about having so much time, it's how you use it, how productive. Not running around being busy.
Right. So Chris, in wrapping up now, so we land now. So what is the key word then before we come back next week then for persons, people coming online and people watching the show in behind? What are some of the key tips, 3-4 tips that they need to be cognizant of in the next, you know, in following?
Here we go. 1, when you finish here, straight away, don't let anything distract you. Go and get that sheet of paper. Write down your skills, right? Your talents. Write down the things you want to do that you thought you couldn't do, right? Okay, here's the other one. Take action. Do something about it. Do not look back. Something else I posted before. Why were your eyes placed in the front of your head? So you can look ahead, so you can move ahead. Stop looking back. Oh, I didn't achieve that last time. Oh, I didn't. No, there's no space for that, right? So 1, write it down. 2, take action. 3, make sure you breed results. Make sure. So don't slip off the treadmill. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Keep on straight ahead. Do not let anybody put you off.
Yes.
It's your life. It's you. You got to hit your goal. No matter how silly it looks to somebody else, if you have to get on with it yourself first or whatever, it's your goal. You got to achieve it, because you achieve this one, you're going to achieve bigger things after.
Wow. That's powerful. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share something with you as well. Chris, when we did this flyer here, what was it? What was the message from that flyer there at the same time, which we connive with those lights there? What is the message behind that?
Oh yes, I looked at it when someone sent it to me. I said, I like that light behind. I like that light behind. And you said,
and I said actually it signifies the light of God.
The light of God. Listen, you can do everything physically, but you can't do it without it.
Yes.
It's got to be there. You got to have your connection.
Yes.
You know, because otherwise, what is it? You know, why are you doing what you're doing at the end of the day? You know, because the thing about it is this. I know for myself, I said, half the things I've done and the things I'm doing, I couldn't have done it without. You know, I leave everybody else up to their choice. I'm not trying to push it down, but I'm going to say you can't do it without. And I was pretty happy when I saw that light behind me. I said, "What is it?" And someone said, "The light of God." Yeah, we found out the verse as well from there, didn't we? When we said that.
And I tell you as well, the person then who created it, she sent me the one before, and I said, "Nah, I didn't feel that one, you know." And then she's actually said she was looking at it for half an hour and said something is not right. And then she saw the light, and when I saw it, I said, "Boom, that's it." You know, there we go. But I want to tell you something also, that when I was walking this morning, and I started to walk, I think my topic was, I forget what the topic was initially. And I think it was just simply saying walk and talk motivational moment. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, walk and talk motivational moment. And while I was walking, it landed what the word was. And the word was, the blessings that you have is not for you. It is to bless others. And ladies and gentlemen, what came very powerful again is this. You may be actually blocking the blessing in someone's life because you're blessed. Every one of us is blessed somewhere, and God is blessing us. And by that blessing that we have, it is to bless someone. Are we blocking someone's blessing by not blessing them based on the blessing that we have? I think I'm going to do a rap. I love these things. I like to make this rhyme and rap. But the most important thing again is that it is more blessed to give than to receive. We all hear that all while. Blessed to give than to receive. But the more key thing about it is this. In order to also receive, you've got to enlarge your capacity. But you can't enlarge your capacity if you're not giving. If you're just keeping all the blessings and sucking up there, everything, you have no more space. And I learned that principle a long time. Just give. And the more you give, you receive. And if that's a word out there for someone, you know, because Chris and I, our faith is anchored in Christ, Jesus. We have no apologies.
No apologies at all. And just to go with that giving is give. You know, give. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris, I think we have exhausted our time, and I think we have done as we say, that was a good show. You know what I'm saying?
Was a good show. And it's given, it should be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together. Yeah. What are you going to give into what you're going to do now to make a difference for others?
Amen. Yeah. And J.L. Samuel said, amen. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to touch base with Chris, there is number there, and his email address, website, Instagram as well. Follow. You get some, just like what you
follow me.
You get some dose of some motivational stuff. You know what I mean, Coach Chris. and next week, what are we talking about, Chris?
Next week, we're going to talk about the whole thing of lockdown and getting work. I'm going to show you different ways of, let's say, earning while on lockdown. It's going to be very interesting. There's some little tips in there that's going to make a difference for somebody, because in this time of lockdown, we've got to think, how are we going to earn? What are we going to do? There are ways. I'm looking into it.
So work you can do to earn in lockdown, and that is going to be next week, Tuesday, this time. Of course, I will normally have my shows. I'm going to have also Anthony Francis, the business coach, who just lives around the corner from myself, where we're going to touch base on a few things as well.
He's got a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, I've got to keep in touch with Jamaica. Jamaica is going through something now, which is Reggae Month, and I'm planning to interview the minister, Babsy Grange, and hoping to get people like Julian Marley or Chensi. Everybody's going crazy over Chensi. That is Sunday evening. And you know, Chris, I think one of the things is that we just have to somehow use what we have and what God has given us in order to inspire persons and inspire others as well. And that is what it's about. And Chris, I want to thank you so much for such short notice for coming on, and then let us just go for it.
Silver, it's my pleasure. And like you said, it's given whatever I've got to share. You know, it's not ours. We got to share it. So it's my pleasure being here. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Chris. And if you just
thank you for everyone else as well.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming on. Chris, if you just stay there, so Chris, have a good night. Yeah, I'll just wrap up after this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Have a good night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming on. And JL Samuel, Lorna Foster, Lake Colors, those on Instagram, good viewing on Facebook, YouTube. And I'm grateful for the viewing on YouTube, because I tell you what I'm planning to do is to really sort of drive traffic to YouTube, because there are some dodgy things going on with Facebook and WhatsApp and all those. You guys have seen that. So we've got to use glad for alternatives that we can use at this time. So most definitely I will be pushing the YouTube much more than the Facebook. Yes, it is on Facebook. The show is on Facebook, but I really want you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is very important. SYLBOURNE TV, SYLBOURNE TV, SYLBOURNE. Share this video as well. And remember, those who want to walk with me, I walk most mornings, and I start walking from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 7:30, 8. And I'm going to plan to do some lives with people. And also, one of the things that I plan to do on weekends, that is overseas link up with someone in the States, Canada, or whatever, like, well, more United States, and just to talk about the birds and the bees, really, and just have some fun. So thank you very much, and have a good night. And without further ado, may God bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you, and may He give you peace and all the best. And thank you very much. Peace out. Thanks.